It will be a series of program about the research writing and paper writing. So we are going to talk about it on a research paper. I have invited in studios Dr. Muhammad Yusuf, Assistant Professor, Center for Media and Communication Studies, University of Gujarat. Assalamu alaikum sir, how are you? Thank you so much for giving us time.
I'm fine. Thank you so much for inviting me to talk on this topic.
Yes sir, it's a very important topic. We are going to talk about research project. So sir, how many steps there a research project in and how they can differ from each other?
I mean, this is, as you have already described, that this is very important topic, and because research writing, I mean research project writing or paper writing or thesis writing, whatever may we call it, it has a certain steps and I mean sequence of steps which we as a researcher have to follow when we are writing. So usually we can say that a research project is composed of 5 parts.
Okay.
Introduction, methodology, findings, discussion and conclusion. But if we add an abstract and references, then it will be 5 steps.
Okay.
So it depends. I mean, sometimes some people write introduction as a separate and entity, and a literature review as a separate entity. We will talk about why we do like this. But broadly speaking, we can divide research project into 5 steps.
Okay.
Introduction, methodology, results, what we call findings as well, discussion and conclusion. So these are the basic steps. But you know, one of the most important thing when we are conducting research is that when we are writing these different parts, introduction and literature we whatever called or whatever we may call we methodology, the most important part, I mean many of our students or beginner researchers, when they write research projects, their introduction, literature review and methodology, because these are the theoretical parts, they make the big part of the research project, and that is not internationally acceptable practice. You know, let me share with you, because both introduction and literature, either they are combined, I mean under one heading, or introduction and literature review, either they are at separate headings, and including the methodology. Ideally speaking or generally speaking, they should not be more than 10% of your research project. You know, what does it mean? It means that 90% of the paper or the project or the thesis should be results and discussion, because this is the most important part of any paper. I mean, because your introduction is, I mean, let me say like this, because when we write an introduction, actually our introduction is a why part. Why we want to conduct our research. Our methodology is a how part. How we will accomplish or conduct this part. And then the most important part is that why and how leads towards what we have found. So actually what are the results or what are, and of course then connected with or associated with findings is discussion. What are the implications or consequences of the findings which we get at the end of the research project. So I think this is the most important part. But if we talk from point to point, I think today our focus is on abstract and introduction.
Yes.
So rest of the parts we will talk in the next programs. So first of all, when we talk about research project, as I already have talked about it, that introduction and methodology. Introduction means also the literature review. Ideally speaking, they should not exceed more than the 10% of a research project.
Okay.
So I mean, if a research project has 100 pages, so it should be like, I mean, just 10% should be introduction, literature review and methodology. The main part should be your results or our results, actually what we have found. And then we need to interpret those results, that what are the implications of those results, what we have found at the end of our research project using, of course, methodology or whatever we call methods. So this is how we proceed. And first of all, we talk about abstract, because you know abstract, one point before we talk about the abstract, let me say this, that these different parts of the research project like abstract, introduction, literature review, I mean if it's a separate entity, methodology, findings, discussion and conclusion, they are interdependent. All these parts depend, I mean they are interdependent at one place, interlinked, but they are also independent. And that's important thing to remember. I mean, if we want to find a coherence between the different parts of a paper or project, we have to look at these different parts, and they will be interdependent, but at the same time they are independent. This is an important point to know. I mean, let me say about the abstract, because abstract is an accurate, or what we call comprehensive and brief summary of a research project. I mean, it's usually from 150 to 200 words. This is, I mean, broadly speaking. Some journals accept up to the 300 words. So maybe it varies from research journal, I mean, from journal to journal. But I mean, a journal format is that it usually consists of 150 to 250 words. I mean, that's the normal standard. But I mean, as I have talked, that some journals could have, I mean, 300 or 350. So if it's important, if but most of the time it's 150 words, and it's a mini report.
Okay.
I mean, what does it mean? It means if I go through your abstract, I can understand what's your problem,
Okay.
what kind of methodology you have used to address your problem, and what findings you have found using by that methodology. So abstract, though it's interdependent, but as a dependent entity, if a researcher goes through the abstract of any other researcher, he must be able to understand why that, I mean, what is the research problem and why that is important, and how that problem is being addressed. I mean, what kind of methodologies the researcher has used, and then what are the findings. I mean, these are the major parts. So we can say that, I mean, there are 4 important questions which we have to consider when we are writing an abstract. First, what is the purpose of the study? I mean, the first line of the abstract describes the purpose of the study. And then, of course, how the study is conducted. I mean, this is the methodology. I mean, including the sampling type, either we are using probability sampling or non-probability sampling, and which method, of course, I mean, which techniques of probability, I mean, like simple random sampling, stratified random sampling, or systematical random sampling, something like that. Or if we talk about non-probability sampling, so what kind of sampling we are using, a technique like snowball sampling, or I mean, any other sampling technique. And also the sampling size, the method to collect the data, and also the analysis techniques, what kind of statistical analysis we have used. All this comes into methodology. I mean, methodology or research design have all kind of information, that how the respondents are selected. I mean, how many, actually at first place, how many respondents are selected, how they are selected, and how the data will be collected, and how that data will be analyzed when once the data comes in a research study. So, and then of course the next is what are the main findings. And connected with this is some research journals and also some supervisors emphasize that once we get what are the main findings, we arrive at that part, then I mean, what are the conclusions which we can draw from those findings? Or in other words, what are the implications of those findings? So, I mean, broadly speaking, a research, an abstract in a research project or a thesis or a paper, whatever we may call it, I mean, consists of 4 parts. I mean, what is the purpose of the research, how that research is conducted, what are the findings, and what conclusions are drawn from those findings. I mean, one more point. I mean, the language. I mean, that's a very important point. I mean, when we write these 4 steps, then what kind of language we use in an abstract, that's important thing. I mean, when we describe the purpose of the research, generally speaking, we use the present tense.
Okay.
I mean, like this research examines, or this research investigates,
Okay.
this is a phenomenon. Like this research investigate, or we can talk about our previous example, what we talk in our last program. I mean, this research investigates the relationship between violent movies and their
Behavior.
impact on aggressive behavior. So, we use the present tense, simple present tense, to describe our what we say, the problem. And then to identify the gaps in the existing literature, we also use the present tense. I think this is important thing to discuss or share with our listeners, that when they are writing an abstract, when they write about the purpose, of their research, they should use the present tense in the abstract. And also when they identify the gap, or the study is going to bridge the gap in the existing literature. Also, generally speaking, it's emphasized that the tense should be the present simple tense. And then secondly, when talking about the methodology or methods, we usually use the past tense. Like the researcher used, a survey method or experimental design or quantitative methodology or qualitative, whatever. Either it's a methodology, either it's a research design, either it's a method. The researcher used content analysis as a method of data collection, or the researcher used survey method as a method of data collection. So we use simple past tense when we write the methodology part of an abstract. And then the main contribution of the paper, what we call the findings of the paper, also follow the past tense, something like the past perfect or the simple past, like it was found. It's once again the passive of the past. So when we write about the methodology and the results, we usually follow the past tense. But when we write about the purpose of the study, what's the problem and why we are going to investigate that problem, or the context of that problem, or the what contribution that research is going to make to the existing literature, usually we use present tense. So this is about, briefly speaking or shortly speaking, this is what an abstract is, what are its parts, and how we write, and what kind of language we use in an abstract.